early 2000s, you would have people would discuss things you might disagree, but there was not these there were no, let's say, this complete standoff of ideas. People would think, you, you might disagree, but let's drink a beer.
Yeah.
And now it's like family members that disagree. They wouldn't even want to talk to each other during Thanksgiving. They might even not show up to Thanksgiving.
So, human rights law, because that's what it boils down to. And that happens to be what I majored in the university. My conclusion, and you can, I mean, other people probably have other opinions, but my conclusion is that, these things are very abstract. Freedom of speech cannot be, cannot be, no. So some people, so I'll say it like this. Some people say, no, it's my human right. You can't infringe it. But that's not true. The law says that governments are allowed to infringe human rights of people in certain situations, provided that the infringement is proportional. So no, that the infringement is necessary and proportional to achieve a goal, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, to achieve something that is higher than the the that weighs more than that particular freedom. So, for example, you have the right you have the right to your assets, right? And if someone takes your money away from you, then it's theft. However, there is an infringement on your right to have assets and your right to protect it at all costs. You have something called you have these things called taxes. And what is a tax? A tax is the government putting its hand into your bank account and taking away a portion of your asset, portion of your money. Is it an infringement of your human rights law? Well, we're going to enter into semantics, but for the lack of just to make to keep to, let's say for the sake of clarity, the answer is yes, it is an infringement. Is it justified? Yes, it's justified because there's a law that says that it's allowed. However, in things like this, if you're talking about comments and opinions of people, it's difficult to say, "Hey, this person is guilty of something." Hate speech, for example. You are free. You are free to say what's on your mind, but there are limitations. Hate speech, inciting hate into people to go, for example, and do something illegal or to cause harm to themselves or other people, is uh, is a infringement on your right to freedom of speech, because that means you can't say everything. Is it justified? Well, if it's true hate speech, yes, then it is. But it's a very blurry area of the law, and everyone thinks that it's pretty clear. It's clear. It's clear. This should be the judgment of the judge, but it's not that simple. It's more complicated than people think. I really like, that's personal. Aside from what we discussed today, as a person, I really like Jordan Peterson and what he does for people. Talks about accountability, making your bed, just basically rules to live by to become a better human being. So I hope it ends well for him. But if it doesn't and they take away his license, come on, man. He's getting that book money, man. He's
And the Daily Wire money as well.
getting more money than you know. So it's more of a principle thing for him.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
it's
totally
always,
a good principle.
but it always has been a principle thing for him.
I think he says this himself as well because he hasn't been practicing for at least 2 years. He says something like that, 2 or 3 years. So it's not like he needs it, but he also said, "I worked 10 years for it. It's not easy to get." So, and he presents himself also as a psychologist, usually on his tour and on his talks. So, I mean, it's only words, but
It goes to show you again the importance of having money and being independent of people.
yeah,
Independent because can you imagine if his only source of income was his work at the university? He
that
would
would
have
have been
either
crazy.
shut up or been fired by now.
That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. With that being said, RJ, anything else to close with this topic?
No, nothing else to close. Nothing else to discuss. We can close the topic.
With that being said, that's the end of chapter 3.
Yes. Guys, thank you everyone who is following the live stream. Also those watching rebroadcast. We have a shout out here. What's up, guys? Lincoln, a crux,
A crux.
a crux. Yeah.
Sup, Lincoln?
What's up, Lincoln?
What do
Thank
you
you
think?
for
What do you think about? What do you think about Jordan Peterson?
yeah. And while we're waiting on Lincoln's answer, uh, thank you to everyone else who's watching and supporting the show. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It really helps us. It really helps us, or at least it helps the algorithm push us higher in the recommendations. Also, and remember to like and share the video. So, like the video and share it with friends and family. Don't forget to follow us on socials as well on our Facebook and Instagram pages at Double Thought Show, both on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again for everyone who is supporting us.
Yeah, thank you also to people who have been participating in the chat. Lincoln, uh,
Angelino as well.
Angelino as well, and people, please, like RJ said, leave a comment if you think about what you think about the situation of Jordan. If you think he's in too deep, let us know how he could save or defend his situation.
Yeah. We have an answer. We have a reaction of Lincoln saying Mr. Peterson is highly misunderstood, man. The problem is we are living in a time where not conforming is a crime. So true. So true. It's like
Yeah.
individuality is not appreciated. Individuality is basically something you can be persecuted for it, basically. Maybe the sheep mentality.
Yeah,
Hey,
it sounds like back in the days when I was younger, I would read books about.
it's a long time ago.
I couldn't even read back then. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. You would read books about how it was in Russia back in the days, in the Stalin days, where people were not allowed to think differently. I think it's very scary if you think about the fact where this is all. I won't say going, but it seems like we are heading that route.
Yeah.
Where basically, I mean, it's crazy if you think about it, RJ, and Lincoln as well. Early 2000s, you would have people would discuss things you might disagree, but there was not these there were no, let's say, this complete standoff of ideas. People would think, you, you might disagree, but let's drink a beer.
Yeah.
And now it's like family members that disagree. They wouldn't even want to talk to each other during Thanksgiving. They might even not show up to Thanksgiving.